Uh,
Hi guys.
Hi, Yuri.
Hey, Eddie.
So let's start. Just 1 second. My Google Assistant decided to start talking to me for some reason.
Just say, shut up, Google.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Okay, so yeah, let's start. So welcome again to the Hyperledger Identus, maintainer and contributor call. This is the last one of this month. As usual, remember the antitrust policy notice. And also remember to adhere to the Hyperledger Code of Conducts during this meeting and any other interaction with Hyperledger community. Agenda, as usual, we are going to have introductions, but I think that everyone here is, yep, is the usual folks. So anyone new in the call today? A little bit of updates, an update on the working group, and then we are going to go through the open issues. So introduction, yes, we don't have anyone new. Updates, as you already know, we are Hyperledger Identus now. We haven't done the marketing, let's say, of the announcement. There are some things that are being working on. Peter, he is working in communications. There is a work around the logos. So as I understand, a few logos are being created for Identus. The idea is to, once they are ready, present them to the community and do some sort of voting to see which logo do we prefer to use. Once we get these things sorted out, probably we will move forward with announcing this Hyperledger Identus more broadly, not only within the Hyperledger community, but also from the Cardano communities as well. Yeah, that's the update on that. Work is being done, basically. Some updates. So last session, we noticed that we need to have some sort of guidelines for closing issues. So I created this. What are you guys seeing? A GitHub page?
Yes, we're seeing the GitHub page.
Okay. So I added these guidelines for closing issues. Basically, it's a part of the contributing.md file of the main Identus repository. Very straightforward, but the idea is to have this documented so we can to start following this practice of closing the issues that are created by the community in GitHub. So as usual, it's just a matter of having a little bit of process and cleaning up our stuff. So it's easier to navigate and easier to see that we are doing follow-ups to the community contributions. Very basic. So when there is an issue, there are few instances that can mean that the issue needs to be closed. The first obvious one is resolution. So for example, it was a bug, then the bug was fixed. It was a feature request, then the feature was implemented, or it was a simple question and the question has received an answer. So if any of these conditions has been met in a issue in GitHub, well, that means that the issue can be closed. There are non-actionable issues, so issues that are duplicates, issues that are not within the scope of the project, or things that don't provide enough information to be acted upon. So maybe someone reported a bug, but it's not clear enough, and then this person doesn't provide, say, any more information. So that will be non-actionable. So those issues will eventually be closed. Stale issues. So basically, this could be things that have been around for quite a while, but no one is interacting in the conversation. So I define it arbitrarily a 30 days period. If an issue has not been talked about in the conversation for a while, then you can add a tag as a stale. And if after 60 days there is no new interaction in there, then we can close the issue because there is no activity. Some guidelines before closing will ensure that any of the above conditions has been met and is justified to close the issue for whatever of the reasons that we already explained. Also, communication. Always leave a comment in the issue of the reason of closing. I don't know if it was a fixed book, maybe put a note there like, okay, in this PR, we merged a solution for this or that kind of stuff. And this other one is just a recommendation, not necessarily mandatory, but it would be a good practice to add some labeling in the issue when it's closed, especially when it's closed because we are not going to act upon the issue. So maybe close the issue and add a label out of scope or can't repro or is a duplicate or that kind of stuff, because probably eventually that will be useful to create some analytics on the contributions that we are getting from this tool. And finally, who should close the issues? Well, it could be the original reporter, maybe the person who made the report or created the issue identified that they committed some sort of user error, or maybe they misunderstood something, or maybe they found a solution in documentation or whatever. So the original reporter is free to close the issue whenever they want. And then the other is maintainers or contributors. So basically that will be most of the team will have the responsibility, let's say, to eventually close the issues once we believe we are ready to close it. So that is basically what I added. As usual, this is open to comment, suggestion, improvements. If you want to propose some change to this, well, create an issue with your suggestions. But yeah, basically that's it. Is there any comment or question about this? Okay. Looks like we are good. So let's go back here. As you know, we are transitioning the repositories is quite a task. Expect a lot of things that are going to be changing. A lot of things are already breaking. Probably some others will break in the future. So bear with us for a while we conclude this transition. You already are aware of the structure that this is going to take. Basically, we are going to have this Identus main site, and this one will have like general information. We are going to have references to the other repositories of the Identus platform. Right now, some of them are still linking to the IOG script organization, but in a matter of a few days, we are going to be transitioning these things and updating this document so it refers to the proper repos. Basically, that's it. This repository also has some basic MD5s that are requirements from Hyperledger, like the contribution guidelines, the maintainers files, the security.md. So it's a very basic repo. Most likely we are going to well, there is a proposal from Yuri to move the docs into this repo. Maybe Yuri, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yep. Thank you, Esteban, for update. We have plenty of repositories, and currently we have Atala releases and Atala Prism docs repositories, one for documentation about particular releases and one for documentation. And probably it doesn't make sense to have such kind of granularity like a landing page, documentation repository, and a repository with releases. So we will discuss with Esteban and other engineers if it makes sense to put documentation and information about Identus platform releases to the same Identus repository. It will be easier for all of us to navigate and to get access to documentation and other assets. If we agreed on the migration path, we will do this step by step.
Okay. Thanks, Yuri. Anyone have a question, suggestion, concern about that? Okay, I think we are good. Then let's continue. So the working group about Identus ADApps, this is still something that I want to drive, but not yet. I want to wait until all the transition has been completed because right now there is a lot of things in there. Most likely this working group probably will call the attention of a few newcomers. So it will be better if we have sorted out the migration of the repos before onboarding new people, because we're going to be a little bit of a mess in here. So once we get this sorted out, the migration, I will continue moving this idea forward. And finally, we have the section of open issues. What I did for today to make this faster is I reviewed this previously and marked here the ones that have the repositories that have issues from the community. So hopefully we can make this faster. So the first one is the cloud agent. Where are my notes? Mhm. Okay, so here we have these 4 tickets open. We have this from JM. Basically, the status of this is we are waiting for information from the contributor. He hasn't provided any updates, so I think that there is not too much to talk about it. Following the concept of closing issues that I just presented. So next week, this ticket will be 1 month old. So technically, we should put a stale tag into it. And if after another period of time doesn't get updated, then we will close this ticket. So that's the idea of how the closing of issues practice should work. Yeah, I think there is nothing to comment about this one. Then 938. Oop. So the last comment from Fabio apparently says that this has been addressed. So most likely what I'm going to do is to close this ticket and mark it as the issue has been addressed and is considered solved or something like that. And well, basically I'm going to use the generic message that I created. to close the issue as addressed. So the idea is if the person is not satisfied, well, they are free to reopen the issue. So basically that is the practice that we are going to follow. Okay. Then the next one is 894.
We discussed this ticket
Yeah.
a few weeks ago. So no update from reporter.
Do you think that we can close this one or we wait?
I guess we can close.
Okay.
You can send the same message.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Okay. Then this one is the perpetual memory leak.
Yep, I asked Bjorn to find some time, and I also wanted to find some time to talk about this ticket. Let's keep it open, okay?
Okay.
And we have performance testing in the scope of this PI, so we will definitely get an answer. Do we have a memory leak in the agent or not in this PI?
Yeah, we'll also set up a new VM in the next days and let it run for a week, and then we can again compare, and hopefully we can close it. I mean,
Yep.
there is something is up there, but it's definitely not critical. But I guess we should understand what's happening at least, even if it's not critical.
Deal.
Okay. So this is the last one of this repo. The next one is, oops, this one, but I think we don't have Javi, and we don't have, do we have anyone from the TS SDK team in the call? I think we don't. Yeah, I will check this one later, maybe with Javi, because I guess he's the one who has a better understanding of these issues. Most of them are from Mix and the How team. So I know that Javi usually works very closely with them. So I will do that offline. The last one is about the Swift SDK. This is from Michael. This is from Gonzalo. This is one from John Bauer.
That's resolved.
Is resolved?
Yeah,
Okay.
let's close that.
Thanks. Let's close this one. And Gonzalo, Michael. And yeah, basically that's all the issues that we have from the community for today. And well, that's pretty much all that I have. As usual, if you have questions, suggestions, criticism, everything is welcome.
Hey, Esteban.
Yes.
Yeah, this is John Bauer. I just wanted to take this moment. I don't know if there's a more formal channel, maybe in the Discord is fine, but I just referring back to the a few meetings ago where you guys published the potential roadmap for the year. And I just wanted to voice a vote for one of the features, just so it's been publicly stated that we would love to use that feature. So hopefully it doesn't get sidelined. But I saw on their roadmap there was support for SD JOTs and SD JWTs, and I just wanted to voice support for that and say that our product specifically would be using that the second it is implemented. So just raising my hand for that feature. That's all.
Okay. Maybe Yuri, do you know, is that part of the pipeline for this PI?
Yes, we have this feature in this PI.
Okay. Is committed or?
Yep, committed.
Yes,
Okay.
it's committed. Yep.
Awesome.
Sweet,
So,
thank you.
cool. Yeah, I think also for feature requests, you can also create an issue because, I mean, this one is already in the pipeline and it will be done, but for the future, it will be good to create an issue with feature requests because that will let other community members to vouch for that feature with comments. Maybe they can say, yeah, we also need this or that kind of stuff. That could be a good practice for upcoming features that you may need. Anything else?
I don't think that it's required. It will just produce some noise. We have this feature in this PI, and it should be enough. And we also, as you remember, have the goal to transition particular stuff to the GitHub project, like a roadmap and high-level stuff. So it's better when we do this proactively and provide some high-level roadmap in the GitHub project for community. I guess this is a better way to do this.
No, yeah, as I say, not for this one because you already pointed out that it's going to be addressed, but for other things, it may be good. Also, yeah, on the part of visibility, so one idea that we have been pushing forward is to try to move as much as possible into GitHub. One of the things that we are going to be talking actually today with Hyperledger is to see if we can use the GitHub projects for this purpose. There are other alternatives that we need to evaluate, but the idea is exactly that, to provide full visibility. We tried a little bit with the slides showcasing the roadmap in a few sessions ago. I mean, that kind of works, but it's not ideal. The best scenario is to be able to provide the full details. So we are working towards that goal. So yeah, eventually we will have more visibility. Anything else? Maybe Fayat, anything to share?
I've got nothing from my side, but in terms of our call next week, Tuesday, we do have somebody from Trust Over IP. They're busy heading up a human experiences working group around digital wallets. So they've done a survey, done some research, and if you guys are interested, they will be coming to present to us next week, Tuesday. So if you don't want to miss out, I just suggest you look out for announcements from us and some reminders to join that call. Thanks.
Okay. Well, thank you. I think that's all. See you next week.
Yep. See you guys.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.